Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a big favor and click that subscribe button down below so I can continue to provide you content like this and many more. Now, as you guys can see, I am back in the Lexus. I haven't made too many videos of it, so I'll keep you guys in the dark a little bit, but this is going to be a little bit of an overview video. So this is kind of like a part 3. So let's begin. So unfortunately, the car needs a replacement transmission. So the gears are a little funny. I will put a picture up to show you guys what's going on. There's a linkage that looks like this, and this particular linkage is what controls the shifting mechanism when you put it into drive, reverse, neutral, all that stuff. And as you guys can see in the picture, it's pretty shot. So there's no really way of fixing it. So I ordered a transmission. I'm expecting it to arrive hopefully sometime soon. I'm going to replace it, and looking forward to seeing how this bad boy drives with a normal, perfectly working transmission, which should be a lot of fun. Be able to step on it and drive it. Now, in today's video, I am going to be replacing the factory radio. Reason why I'm replacing it, two things. One, the audio tuning portion of the radio doesn't work, so you can't really control the tuning, bass, mid, nothing. And the other one is half of the lighting on the radio screen itself is a little faded and not working properly, and the sound it just sounds like crap. It sounds like a tin can. So as you guys can see here, I purchased a replacement unit on eBay. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it. So it involves a couple of things. So this trim here has to be removed, along with the vents. The entire climate control and radio has to come out. So I'm going to show you guys the step-by-step process how to get this done. As of right now, I'm sticking with a factory radio to keep the cost low. In the future, I will be upgrading to a Android Auto radio, Android radio with backup camera, Bluetooth, all that fun stuff. For now, I'm sticking with the factory radio. I have an FM modulator that I plug into the serial lighter and put it to a station on the FM. So this way I can listen to Bluetooth music and Google Maps and so on and so on. Stay tuned. That's coming up next. Okay, so to remove the center console, you got to do a couple of things. First, let's start with the tools. You're going to need one of these trim removal kits, which you can buy them easily online anywhere. They're very inexpensive and they're great. Also, a magnetic tip here, because you got four screws, 2 up here and 2 down here. All right, let's get started. And you need one of these 10mm socket. I have a manual one, but you could also use a socket with an extension if you like. All right, so let's get started. First step is removing the climate control vents. So let's remove the climate control vents like so. You go like this, nice and easy. Nice and easy, you go like so. Right, I usually start from left to right. There you go. So left to right, gently pull it out. There's 2 plugs here. You got one for the hazard and one for the clock and the seatbelt warning light. Pull those out, and this is very easy. Put it aside. After that, then you open up this lid here, and let's put this on like so. You got to use the removal tool right here. You can start by going right here like so. Gently pull it up. Oh, wait a minute, I'm skipping a step. Before you move this, you got to remove the ashtray. So all you got to do for this, you just pull it out like so. And there's a plug here on the right hand on the middle, which is right here. Push a little push pin out and push it out. There's the plug. You just push it in, set that aside. Now that you have the ashtray removed, then you can start removing. Let me just turn on the car real quick so I can have more light. You can remove the radio, the 2 screws right here, and then you can start removing the center console. And it looks like my light just turned off. Give me 1 second. Let me turn this light back on. Okay, here we go. Sorry folks, unfortunately it's getting a little dark earlier, so I have to improvise here any way I can. Now that you have the vents removed and you have the ashtray removed, then you can do this center console. So I would say put this in, you put it in drive or as further as you can, and do lift like so, right here, gently, and just lift up a little bit. You get pulled towards you. You got 3 plugs, 1 for the power mode for the transmission, 1 for the dual heated seats, and then 1 for traction control. You could start from right to left, so you can disconnect the traction control button, which the button is on the bottom, the clip. That's 1. That's 2, and then last but not least is the transmission one. And sometimes it might give you a little bit of trouble to remove and pull it out. Once you have it out, and there you go, you can just completely put that aside. I'm not going to remove the entire thing because I have the old radio to show you guys as a sample. So to get rid of this console, all you have to do is remove, there's 4 screws. There's 1 screw here, 1 screw here, and 2 screws down here. There's 1 right there, and there's 1 on this side. And then after you do that, there's only 4 plugs. So the climate control has 2 plugs, you just pull them out. And then the radio has 2, like so. 1 plug here, 1 plug here. Remove the 2 antennas out of the way. And then the entire assembly comes off. All right, that's how to remove the radio. And now let's go into the next step. See you guys in a bit. Okay, and we are in part 2 of the install of the radio. Now, of course, this is the new one, and this is the old one that I removed from the car, attached to the climate control. Now, to separate the two, as you can see, there is a series of screws here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that you got to remove from each side to divorce the climate control from the radio. Let's get to it. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver, like so. Nothing crazy. And let's remove these screws. So let's start here. And looks like this is giving me a little bit of a trouble. Let's see. Remember folks, these screws have been installed here for 20 years. So this is the first time since the car was built back in 2001 that these screws are coming off. So it might give you a little bit of trouble. So I got these 2 out. And let's see here. Let's try these 2. These those small ones. Yep, no problem with these. As you can see, these little ones are not going to give me any trouble to remove. It's just the two big ones that I need to remove. So let's just leave these two for later. Let's go to the other side, and you're going to repeat on the other side. So same set of screws, same thing, just repeat the process. So let's take off, start with the small ones, just like the other side. Take these off, and I cannot wait to install this new radio because I enjoy music. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate you guys how good it sounds, but just Lexus, old Lexus sound systems, they sound decent. The car has 6 speakers, well, technically 7 counting the subwoofer, and it sounds okay. You know, sounds okay. You know, it has, the bass has a nice thump to it. It does have an amp, not a big amp, but it has a tiny amp. Oh, I just dropped the screw. Let's just put this guy here. And I'm looking forward to it, especially because I have the FM modulator, so I can do, you know, iHeartRadio and streaming media, Bluetooth, all that fun stuff. So it's pretty cool. I can't wait. Almost done here, removing these screws. Looks like this side was easier to remove, which is good because then I can show you guys exactly what this plate looks like once it's completely removed. So this is what the plate looks like, which holds the climate control and the radio together. This is it. So it goes, let's see here, put it back together. It goes like so. I took a picture of it, this way I can remember how to put it together, but this is how it goes when they're together. Let's set this guy aside for 1 second, and let's try to remove these last 2 screws to completely divorce these 2 systems from each other. Sometimes you could do this with the screwdriver. You could take off the tap, and yep, and kind of serves like a socket, which is great. Just for screws that look like sockets, you can kind of do that and just use the screwdriver without a bit in it. And let's repeat the process on the other side, which is great. Here we go. And voila, here's the second part. And now they are officially divorced. Climate control, radio. So now we just have to put the other one, the new one, back together. Marry new radio with old climate control, and just do the process in reverse. All right, we are back. So as you guys saw earlier, I divorced the old radio from the climate control. So now everything we did to make this look like a hot mess earlier, we're gonna do the same thing in reverse to put this radio back together. So let's begin. Very simple. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, quick note, these brackets, they have an R and a left and an L each side, which basically tells you which side they go. So there is no wrong way of putting this back together. And in a lot of aftermarket radio kits that you can buy for this Lexus, you can, most of the time you can use the factory brackets to install your aftermarket radio. All right, let's get to it. Let me move the shifter out of the way. Turn the car back on for a second. Move the shifter here, and then turn them off. All right, so, and everything we did earlier, we're going to do in reverse. We're just gonna connect the antennas back. So one here, one there. Move the shift a little bit back. So the two plugs, one for the climate control that goes right here. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. My huge noggin gets in the way. And the two plugs for the bottom of the radio. Once that's connected, then carefully place the radio back into its natural place, which it should go in there perfectly because it's a factory radio. And I love it already. I can't wait to hear how this thing sounds. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you guys on camera. And we put everything back little by little. So the other part of the equation is we now put the screws back on. So let's see where I put the screws. Oh, I put them in here. So the good thing is that the screws, even though it doesn't really matter, but if you're anal and picky about, you know, where things go, there's two screws that look kind of like golden-ish. Those two go on top. So, for example, this one and this one, they go on top. I don't know if that was just by design or on purpose or whatever the case may be. You just repeat the process of removing them and putting them back little by little. You can first do it by hand, carefully not to drop them, because if you do, it'll be a royal pain to get them out. Speaking from experience, because I dropped a screw, and that's why I picked up the little magnet. And then use the little hand wrench to tighten it. And you don't have to go ape with this because it is hooked up to plastic. But just hand tight should be sufficient. Same thing for the bottom ones. Carefully, very carefully. Oh, you see? Perfect example. Perfect example. Just drop one. Very carefully put these screws. Oh, now I'm getting freaking nervous. What's going on over here? All right, let me use the magnet to get the screw back in place. So you can just do this. Extend this guy like so, and carefully place him in its natural place. Do the same thing with the bottom one, the other one. This way you don't lose the screws, because like I said, it's a royal pain to get these screws to come back, to find them. You might have to push a little bit. You might have to push a little bit to get the screws in place. And once it is, then manually tighten it by hand like so, just to kind of stay in there nice and flush. And there you go. Got it. Okay. Let's move this thing out of the way. Let's do the bottom ones first. And because you could do it, you're tightening it by, manually, you don't have to go ape in terms of how hard you tighten these things. Just enough so obviously it's not going to rattle, it's not going to make any noise. Same thing on the bottom, the other side. And that's pretty good. Do these. And let's put this thing back together. First thing is climb the vents. Let's connect the hazard switch. Make sure it works. Yep, it works. Passenger side airbag and clock, which it will set us up to 1 p.m., which I'll fix in a second. Next, we are putting this guy. Well, you know what? Before I do that, let me test the radio. Haha. Very nice. Very, very nice. Make sure, yep, bass which that's what I needed to do. I can control bass, I can control mid, treble. Oh, this is awesome. The automatic volume, which this car has. ASL is automatic volume, something where it raises the volume by itself. Very, very cool. And the screen is nice and bright. Love it. That's what I wanted. Perfect. Okay, so let's put the this vent here back in. Carefully put this cable back up. So, and before you annihilate the cables, make sure you connect them back. So first one here is the transmission power switch thing here. That controls the shift points of the transmission. So it's a very rudimentary sport mode. It just says power, and snow mode for control of the heated seats, which is one plug for both of them. And then the last one is the traction control switch on and off. Lift this a little bit, gently push forward like so, and then that's it, no screws. And last but not least is the ashtray. Connect it back here, and this guy just gently push it in, and we're back in business, ladies and gentlemen. And that is it. This is my radio replacement, radio upgrade, factory radio. I have to get this trim removed. I have to order one of these trims later on in the future. But thank you for watching. If you guys like what you see, do me a big favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many, many more. You may not see a lot of content with this moving forward because I am waiting for the transmission to arrive. Once the transmission arrives, the car is going to go to the shop and get the transmission replaced. I've ordered fluids for it, OEM Lexus Toyota fluid, a filter kit for the transmission, and I'm just waiting for the transmission to arrive. Once it gets here, it's going to go to the shop. I will of course give you guys an update later on after the surgery, so to speak, how the car drives and everything. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.